Right, so in this episode, this is very much in the theme of naughtiness. This is the sort of meal that you cook for yourself when you're having a little celebration. I don't know, maybe you got a new job, maybe it's your birthday, maybe your mother-in-law fell over and hurt herself. Something that we can celebrate and really enjoy. And I think after the last 2 years, we've really earned it. So we're going to be cooking this Porterhouse 45-day dry-aged Porterhouse steak from the Dry Aged Steak Company. Now, I'm going to have to get you to come in and have a smell of this, Clarky, because it is something special. It's a proper chunk of meat, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
So this is a tribute to our friendship, because I would never normally share a steak like this, but today we're going to share it together. So much like as I've said before in some of my other videos, we're going to take the steak out of the fridge, we're going to bring it up to room temperature, and we're going to allow the meat to settle and rest. One of the things I like about the Porterhouse is you get that lovely piece of fillet. Now, one of the challenges of cooking a T-bone or a Porterhouse is that you can often find that this bit gets done too much and this one isn't done enough. Very much in the category of naughty and nice. In my video we made a steak salad. Tonight we're making steak chips and all the trimmings. Now, if you're going to have chips, they've got to be real chips. And when I say real chips, I mean big chunky chips cooked in beef dripping. I've already peeled my potatoes. I figured you guys wouldn't be all that interested in watching me peel my potatoes. And there are some limitations in what we're doing today. I mean, sometimes these are Maris pipers. You decide, you let me know. So I would want, ideally, bigger, longer potatoes, because bigger, longer potatoes make bigger, longer chips. However, we're using what we've got, and I'm pretty confident we can do something really decent anyway. So I was actually taught how to make chips by a proper chef, my mate Ali of Sausage UK. He is a chef maestro, and he encouraged me to do the 3-part method. So once I've cut these up, I'm going to soak them in some clean water, and that's going to give up some of the starch. Now, if you weren't doing this for YouTube, if you were doing it for real, you would be soaking these for as long as possible and getting out all of the starch and rinsing the water through and getting your potatoes nice and clean, because it's the starch that's going to stop you from getting your chips nice and fluffy and chip-like, for want of a better word. My other tip is always make more than you think you're going to need, because sometimes when you boil them they can go a bit mushy and you can lose some in the process. So I don't know if you can see that, but when I'm adding the water in, straight away it goes cloudy where it's giving up the starch, and that's what you want. Now, the other thing, once you've got them in your water, is you're going to add salt, and I mean a lot of salt, because using osmosis, there we go again with the science, the salt is going to get drawn into those chips and it's going to help. I think it breaks down the starches. I'm sure if I'm wrong, someone will tell me, but either way it's going to make you a better chip.
What's the difference between a T-bone and a Porterhouse?
So the difference between a T-bone and a Porterhouse is from the same part, from the short loin of a cow, which is roughly, imagine me as a big fat cow, it is roughly this bottom section round here. I'm cringing as I say this because I know butchers will be at home saying, who's this clown? But basically the Porterhouse comes further up relative to the T-bone, so I think it's towards the back, and as a result of that you get a larger fillet, which obviously some people quite like. I mean, me, I just like the sirloin, so I'm pretty happy with either. But it's kind of like, it can be a his and hers steak, because before my wife, before she knew better, she always liked the fillet. So it used to be quite nice. I'd give her the fillet and I'd have the sirloin, and couples in love and all that good stuff. Of course, she's much more educated now. She eats all of the beef. Steak, said it before, and I'll say it again. Got to have a good bit of salt on there. So I've been soaking my chips for hours now. You can see they've given up hardly any of the starch. But if you were doing this for real, you would leave this probably for a good at least 4 hours. First stage of the cook. Got some boiling water. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add them into my hob. So I've boiled my potatoes 8 to 10 minutes. It's really as much as you dare. And I'm going to pour away all the water. And while we've been setting up, they've probably stood a bit long, but that's the nature of what we're doing. So you're going to get like the mashy bits in there. You're going to have to be really gentle with them when we're doing this, because they do come apart. So I've got my steak off to rest now. A couple of grilled tomatoes, a couple of mushrooms, grilled asparagus, and of course, the most important thing, real chips. So what's it missing, Clarky?
Salt.
Salt. None of that gimmicky sprinkle stuff. Just a bit of salt on your chips. And that is what you have when you're celebrating something. So a little recap. We cooked the steaks directly. Cooked that on the Genesis. We cooked these in beef dripping. We started off, we boiled them in salty water, or soaked them in salty water, boiled them for 8 minutes. We took them out, we let them dry off. The ones that were a bit mushy we put aside and set away, and the ones that were just on the edge create these lovely little crispy crisps. Took some mushrooms, asparagus, tomatoes, and of course 45 dry aged steak from Dry Age Butchering Company. So we'll cut a bit of this fillet off and we'll try that on the camera, and then we'll try a bit of the sirloin. See how we did with the fillet. Do you remember I was saying sometimes it can be difficult to get the fillet just so? So it's probably a bit over what I would have liked done, but it's still pink in the middle, so I'm not gonna cry. But look at that, look, it's just coming apart. That's gonna be incredible. Call me Salt Bay. There we go.
Salty Bay.
Salty Bay.
Rob's already ploughing ahead of trying this one, he's not even waiting for me.
Oh. I take no credit for the beef. The beef is just excellent product. Aged just right. You can take it further, but for me 45 days feels about right. Any more than that kind of feels like it might be showing off a little bit, you know. And most importantly, real chips.
Real chips. Make chips real again.
I just love the perfect chips when you get that crunch on the outside, you know, that bite.
The fluffiness.
And then just fluffiness in the middle. So there we have it. Celebration steak platter. Porterhouse, chips, mushrooms, tomatoes, asparagus. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know I love making it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a comment, show us some love. Of course, don't forget to check out the other guys on the channel, Edge Barbecue, Rushak. We're going to be doing all sorts of things in the coming months. Cannot wait. So I'm pretty blessed. I've got loads of equipment here. That's not even a boast. I've been doing this a while now. I've accumulated some bits, but it wasn't always that way. I never had all this before, and the point is with barbecues, you don't need everything. It's nice to have. Anytime you cook, nothing goes to plan. There's been loads of things going on today across the episodes. I don't mind admitting we shot more than one episode today, but that's barbecue. You just got to roll with it. It's dynamic problem solving on the fly, and when you overcome those problems, you're learning all the time. Every time you do something, you're going to do it a little bit differently. You're going to take that learning, iterative process, but just enjoy it. There is no rules in barbecue. It's about bringing your friends together like we have today. I've brought Clarky down. He's been kind enough to come down and shoot this. We've had some food. We've had a beer last night. And that's all you really want from cooking.